Hey guys, it's I, Mononerd, the greatness, the ghoul, the cross-up guy, it's I, and I'm here with ShadBad88. Say hello, Shad.
Hello!
It's him. You're actually hearing his voice.
It's me, ShadBad88 from YouTube.
I actually got a paid actor to do Shad. He actually doesn't have a voice. But
it's a flat rate, 150 a word.
So, but from what I know, this is like the first like proper show of your voice in a video.
Oh yeah, it's always been hidden behind fucking Tord or Professor Oak, so this is a little refreshing.
I know what's crazy is actually the second time. The first time, I'm a cringe guy for knowing this. The first ever time your voice was in a video was in a cheesy bastard Mario Party stream. I remember that.
I remember that, yeah.
I
forget which one we're playing. I think it was 4.
It was not 4.
But that was a fun time.
It was 6, and you couldn't play. You were like a Koopa Kid computer because your dolphin wasn't working or something.
Right. That's before I got my new computer. Yeah, my old computer's a piece of shit and couldn't like run anything on emulator. So thankfully my new one's been a lot better.
Nice. As the title shows, I'll be asking ShadBad88 some questions. ShadBad is known pretty good in the Lawl community for weird shit posts. You know, obviously just being a supportive fellow and. A little minute thing, you may have heard of it, Lawl Beatdown.
What's that?
No idea. Doesn't exist. No. Alright, well, Shad, would you like to, I don't know, say any, like, opening words before we start?
Yeah, you know, I'm still honestly riding the high of getting the direct out. It's been I'm kind of back in the grind of trying to do normal videos that aren't this huge spectacle, and it honestly feels pretty good, so... I'm excited to kind of let some stuff out and just get some stuff out in the ether.
That's really good. That's really nice. We are recording this, I think, like a couple weeks after the direct's out, so pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's start. All right, my first question for you: how's your day going? All right, what's your favorite food?
Oh, that's a good one. I've always liked a good cheeseburger. Cheeseburger fry, but one of my favorites, like recently, that my wife does is a nice little parm chicken. Like it's quick, it's easy, and it's good.
Oh, nice. All right. Obviously we all have these. We all have these origin stories. What was the origin of the name ShadBad88?
So. This one, it all goes back to Club Penguin. When I was first setting up my Penguin, the first name I used was SBad88, which of course it was shorthand for Strong Bad, and I was 8 at the time, so I was like, it's me, I can put the two things together. And then, branching off to that from adolescence into middle school, I had a Sonic OC named Shadow T. Echidna, if you know, you know. But by the time I started, like, kind of putting myself more as a presence online, I kind of merged the two together into ShadBad. And, like, recently, the 88 moniker, I'm dropping that because I don't want to get into that, but I think ShadBad just kind of rolls off the tongue.
As the community knows, you're actually a big fan of Pokemon. Do you have any comments about Pokemon and how the series has been going on recently?
I've honestly been still enjoying Pokemon content. I know there's a lot to like criticize about the Nintendo model of how like they kind of wanted shit getting out, but I fucking love Legends EA. I've honestly still been having a lot of fun with the games, especially because my boy Scrafty got a Mega, so that's a big W for me.
Is Scrafty your favorite Pokemon?
Oh yeah, he's my boy.
Well, obviously now we gotta ask, what's your favorite generation or like game in general?
5, Black and White. Well, specifically Black and White 2 is really fun, but it's kind of like it's my golden child.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not that into Pokemon. I just mostly know it for the anime, which I imagine you're a big fan of.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, let's finally get to the Lawl questions. Everyone has this in the community. Everyone has it. What was your origin story? How'd you get into it?
So it all started many moons ago with I think I actually saw Mean first as like a standalone video when Chin released that, and I was like, oh, this is cool. This kind of blossomed my neurons. And then didn't see anything about it for a while. And then I saw, because I was in the Nostalgia Critic phase, the Nostalgia Critic moveset. And then it was like, oh shit, he's doing more of these. So it kind of like brought me into that sphere. And I remember following LOL Original, Subspace Emissary. I remember how hype it was to see like Frollo and Gaston finally get revealed. It just kind of all started with that. And then from there, I just kind of, I was one of those people, I would just type Smash Bros. LOL in YouTube search and filter by like uploaded this week. And then as soon as like spin-offs started, I was like, ooh, a whole field of content.
Currently, right now, the longest running LOL right now is Nova, made by Scapicon. Do you think she's doing well? Like how her LOL's like kind of like the most longest running thing right now?
Oh my god, yeah. This might be a spoiler for a future answer, but Nova is one of my favorite spin-offs. I think Carla does a great job at like, you can see a great evolution as the series goes on, but she never strays away from having like fun ideas and fun presentation. And she also comes with that knowledge of like how the community has progressed and how certain things go. So it really is like fascinating to watch Nova from start to finish nowadays, or not finish, but like to modern days, because you can also kind of see the reflection of like how the community has grown and how Carla herself as a creator has grown. And of course it's like really fun.
Yeah, I feel like Pivot becomes more of a lost thing in the community of like making stuff. So it's kind of cool to see a Nova video because it makes Nova stand out in that way, and I like it.
Oh yeah.
Well, to go off my my other questions real quick. So you started watching the original LOL and you got inspired to do your own thing, which is crazy because especially nowadays, if you ask someone how'd you get in the community, it was because of Beatdown. I got into Beatdown because of both Homestar and Frisk. They are my golden child. I love Homestar because he got me into LOL. So tell me, how's that feeling? I'm just like, oh, people are now getting inspired off of my stuff to do this stuff.
Honestly, it's very humbling, but it does feel like really nice because like again, like watching LOL Original, you kind of get these bouts of like creativity or inspiration. You're like, I kind of want to do something like this at some point. And like the fact that I put something out there and people enjoy it and people like get inspired themselves, it's honestly an awesome feeling. Because especially with like the way a lot of social media is nowadays and creativity seems like it's like being stifled, I kind of love seeing that people want to put their creative foot forward. I think it's really cool.
So more on how you create your LOL real quick. I actually want to talk specifically about a certain character, the first StrongBad, right? So StrongBad's neutral B, the cheat, it has a summoning gimmick to it. And I feel like the summoning gimmick or like the partner gimmick got really popular because of that. I don't know if StrongBad was the first to do it, but I know he definitely wasn't the first to do it. But I think he...
Yeah, that would be Yuzma and Kronk.
Right. But I think he normalized it in a weird way next to Yzma. So any comments about that? Or like, how would you like comment on the partner gimmick itself?
Yeah, I think it's something that like you kind of have to pay attention to like how it should be used. Like for example, like with Yzma and StrongBad specifically, they are characters that they do get their hands dirty, but they are like 100% willing to let someone else get like dirty work in for them. I think another great example, honestly, is Mr. Burns and Smithers in a Smash Bros. LOL thing. I think it's a fun way to kind of rep characters that wouldn't have enough like standalone or would feel weird standalone. But it's also something that you kind of had to be a little bit aware of. So it's not just like, all right, why is like if I did Ruby and Yang was an assist, like that wouldn't make any sense.
Spoilers for the Ruby side. No, I think no one was expecting that, but yeah, that makes sense. You definitely would just want to balance. You don't want to feel like the assist is there just for it to be there.
Yeah. Like, little fun fact, one of John's original special moves is actually going to summon Nana Sprite, the spirit of his dead grandmother. But, like, around the time I was working the videos, I'm like, this does not work.
Nah, even you were like, damn. fuck Homestuck. No, I'm joking.
Fuck Homestuck. What the fuck is Homestuck?
Fuck Homestuck makes free refs for it. That's funny. Would you say Eddsworld is quite important to beat down?
No, it sucks. No, just kidding. Honestly, it is very. I would definitely say it's very important. It's something that like you know, I think Eddsworld in general kind of like represents if I get a little philosophical for a second, it kind of represents a level of like creativity and like the only thing stopping you from doing something is you. Even like going the fact that like people have done their own things because of Eddsworld. I think in a funny way, Eddsworld does represent the kind of like expansive do-it-yourself attitude that I kind of have with Beatdown. And I think it's just, it is honestly pretty important to me.
I guess outside of LOL, any comments or opinions on Eddsworld? It's very long. It's long running right now with like I think 3 iterations: Classic, Legacy, and Beyond. Eddsworld will always have a special place in my heart. I know I look back at Legacy a bit with some rose-tinted glasses. Like I kind of think a bit more critically about it now. Like from things from like towards characterization in the end to like the way music is used and the way the joke structures are. And I kind of do enjoy that Beyond is like a return to form. Yeah, it was kind of a jump because you could tell Tom Scott was the writer of it with like his whole team behind it. But you know, I do. Yeah. It's not like bad, but like it's different and you can notice.
Oh yeah, no, not bad at all.
Your most 2 viewed videos of movesets at least are both Tord and Frisk. Any comments on that? Do you think they deserve that fame?
Honestly, I'm fine with Tord. Like looking back at Frisk, I'm still like back then I was amazed, like holy shit, this is popping off. It's definitely from the Undertale vibing. But I know people enjoyed the set, but like it's one of those where like it's kind of at that cutoff point where there's some things animation wise where I'm like, oh, I don't like how that looks now, or there's some things I don't like how I did. Tord, on the other hand, I think is a great like showcase of like the way I started transitioning post-direct. And it's also like I like how his moveset turned out. There's some things that like back then, even when some other people made their own Tord movesets for like text lulls or whatever, like I want to do something different and something cool. So, and I'm glad that people enjoyed it as much as they do.
Well, speaking on Frisk, how was the decision of kind of making Frisk kind of more the core 5 next to Strong, Bad, John, Ed, and Mark in like the lore bits?
Well, yeah, that's a really good question because usually, like, you know, the other 4 are kind of the first 4, but Frisk in a way kind of represents like, well, Frisk is their own character, but they kind of become a vessel of the player, whether like, and like. The player's actions kind of influence what happens with Frisk, like more so than like any other game character, I would say. So I think it's neat in the way that Frisk is kind of like this. Frisk is able to kind of finally stand out on their own, but they're also still a part of this. Like, I'm trying to choose words carefully and spoil anything, but
it's been out since 2015.
I'm not talking about Undertale. I'm talking about my lore.
I'm sorry.
But no, there's like without going into lore spoilers, like there's definitely an important aspect to Frisk kind of being like representative of the world and everything. And they're also very recognizable, and I think it kind of like fits really well with that quartet.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're also the character you control in Beatdown Bound, which, by the way, how was making that? I was just busted out game, and I think no one's done that.
Yeah, that was it was fun, it was rewarding, but oh my god, I basically had to learn like very minimal coding so I could get some plugins for RPG Maker to go. I had to spend time like just sitting down and writing dialogue and doing a bunch of fixes on key events. I thought I got everything, and then you talk to the cat and you get soft locked.
That happened to me! I waited, and it was like, fuck you! You don't get to move anymore!
Fuck you. The cat showing his hand early. Fuck you, you're stuck.
Fucking, you should have done the in the patch with the instead of the cat damaging you, just soft locks the player.
No, Garnet touches him and she fucking freezes. I think I've mentioned before, it's inspired by the way Homestuck has walk-around flashes for stuff like Alternia Bound and Hivebent. So with the way that like I've already been heavily thinking more about the lore, I thought this would be a fun way to kind of just showcase some like character interactions and story stuff. Kind of get people more immersed before I like, because I just introduced Ozpin recently, so I thought it'd be great to give him a bit more spotlight before, you know, like kind of formally introducing Dio, like getting a bit more active.
So way back when, I remember after, I think it was after the Doctors, there was like a mini poll to see which set of characters to release. Batch 1 being Homestar, Karkat, Common Matt, the second batch being Dan, Frisk, Psycho Dad, and Viola. Do you think it would have been? How do you think like the world would have changed if the second set were done before the first set?
Oh, Frisk would look 10 times worse. I honestly think like with the way the sets worked, like doing the 4 characters from veteran series was kind of me like refining things and the way I present things. So by the time I got to the other 4, it felt like, all right, I feel a lot more confident. If the inverse happened, like it would be like they would be significantly jankier. Like I think both Frisk and especially Dan really needed the better animation to convey stuff about them. So honestly, I think it would have been for the worse for those 4 absolutely if they got first. But like Homestar would honestly be riding fucking easy street.
He wouldn't get that dumbass fish.
Fucking goldfish.
Go to why the clouds. Listen, maybe you should have brought the fish back.
That's the only rule that's staying dead.
It's like each character had their own boss. Homestar's boss is the fish.
Yo, the fish.
The Doctors, I would say, are also probably next to Eddsworld at being pretty big, just for having basically one representation with them both being a tag team. So, what would you have to say about both Rosalind and Watts?
Honestly, like, it is something I'm glad that when more games came out, the only things I would have to add to their moveset were like minimal, like standard representation. But honestly, like they are, To the Moon is a game that means a lot to me personally, and I've been following the series ever since. And they are like 2 characters that like I don't want to say it's my version of the Dreamers, but like they're characters that pixel characters that I'm really attached to, that I thought would give some pretty creative moves, like in terms of what they did in the series. So they are like characters I'm still very happy with.
That's good. I think I find it funny that in the first patch, Watts got a lot of the patches, and Rosalind didn't get anything. Then the second one, Rosalind got a lot of the patches. It's like, all right, girl,
Yep.
You gotta calm down. Steve just came out. Then Minecraft.
Yeah, I can do what with a wall?
Minecraft, it was fucking hilarious. Yeah, no, we're scared to add walls now. I got so scared when I did that stupid fucking wall for Paper Mario Side B, I think it was.
Oh yeah. I don't think it's nearly as egregious as Rosalind's.
Yeah, no, Rosalind's cracked. So I guess, speaking on your past work real quick, I think each of us have like that moment. I think I've had that moment with stupid fucking 40% swatchling, but any flub-ups on your part that you think stands out, or like it could be something you've already fixed, but like anything that you just like remembered, like, damn, why the fuck did I do that?
Oh, that's a good question. I think a good one to start with would be Dan's original Final Smash. I definitely feel like I got lazy in representing the way the characters tried to bust out. Like, not even thinking like hypothetically the characters can break out pretty easily. It's like nothing happens. Mark just does some moves and then he dies. Like, I look back on it like, that sucks. Why'd I do that?
should have got Dan to come back in like, wait, door isn't here. Wait, really? Then locks him in the room and he dies from the final smash. Well, obviously we've changed, we've grown. So, what would you say is like around the movesets where okay, this is the glow up beatdown?
Oh, that's a good question too. I know like the very physical glow up you can see is with Frisk because that's with both widescreen format and idle animations. But I definitely would like lean a bit to Tord and Gary in that little era because like I definitely felt a lot more confident and I felt like I've started having fun ways to represent the characters. It's kind of also led into why I wanted to do Thwomps and Kieran for April Fools because I was like, oh, I feel confident doing this now, like real confident.
Tord has the HUD update, which I from memory you've been using like since today.
Yep.
Never let him go. We can't all be lucky with our first HUDs. Mine looked fucking ugly.
No, I didn't like mine either. Don't worry.
So you're pretty. I think you and Scap are pretty. I want to say memorable with your echoes. How do you feel about making your echoes a little bit more different than their original counterparts?
I think it's definitely like we're LOL in the way that we want to do creative things and fun things. I think it's important to like not be afraid to branch out. Like I've seen people kind of say with some of the echoes like they're a little too different. It's like, well, yeah, there's still got to be a base. Like for example, like someone like Chara is like would be good to lean into like the typical Smash kind of echo, but like unlike most of the Smash echoes, there are actually differences in their moves. And for stuff like Darkiplier, like you kind of gotta think some things just kind of wouldn't translate one-to-one. Like Darkiplier doesn't have a Tiny Box Tim variant, but he does have little shadows of his face.
Dark Tiny Box.
I will hurt you, my big biscuit.
I think out of the four, Dangerous is definitely the most different.
Yeah, but fucking props to Plums, who actually, she wrote that moveset and pitched it to me, because she kept everything in the spirit of how Strong Bad's original moves still went, but still made them, like, vastly different.
Yeah, I think I like Dangerous purely because, they reference stuff from the Strong Bad game. Well, Strong Bad's a cool game for attractive people. I love that game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How do you feel about the Poker Night announcement with a new Strong Bad model? Yeah. I'm
so excited for that. It is. If that pays the way for them to remaster cool game for attractive people, I'm all for it. But Poker Night's really fun. That's gonna be really exciting.
Like they actually went out their way to make straight up new models for Strong Bad and Pom Pom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And, you know, Tycho's there.
Hi, Tycho. Giraffe fucker.
Well, obviously, back on, like, the theme of change, what's your favorite sets you conceptualize? What do you think, like, I wrote this set pretty good? It could be, like, multiple. You can have multiple answers if you think, like, okay, these are my babies. These are the ones I show off a lot.
Ooh, I know one answer that people might not expect is Thwomps. It's a character that was purely birthed from concept. Mostly because first in like I said Animal Crossing, that's not right. First Ice Climber-esque duo. But kinda like the way working the limitations how they're Thwomps and things they do in this series, like I felt like I honestly am very proud of their moveset and how it turned out. And I think another one I would lean towards is Jeddah.
Funny side film. I actually mentioned this a bunch of times in streams, and I had a conversation with Heb last stream. You did not upload a single moveset in 2025. You had some extras, you had the whole direct to work on, but how do you feel like kind of not taking a break, but like stepping back and just letting the community run wild?
Yeah, honestly, like there's an equal level of refreshing and anxiety between like, all right, like I'm working on something big, but the community's doing a lot of good stuff at the same time. Like, oh no, am I missing out because I don't have anything in the zeitgeist? But honestly, there were so many like really fun movesets from last year that it's honestly great just to see the way like the LoL community continues to be self-sustaining in such a like engaging, fun way. Kind of the way that like we're promoting a lot of people doing new stuff, and it's really cool to see. So I'm trying to get better at commenting on videos, but there were a lot of cool stuff. I definitely would want to give props to.
By the time we're recording this, I think Satina and some other new lollers have come out, and I've enjoyed their work.
Yeah.
Good shit. This is just a casual one. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Now pick a color besides green.
Fuck!
Or red. Not green or red.
Motherfucker. I'm gonna be a basic bitch and say black.
Is black a color?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame.
Black's a color. Ask any emo.
Okay. All right, now then, lore. So, what motivated you to go this hard with the lore? What motivated you to, like, is there a deeper message? Like, what's going on here?
So, the way it all started, like, you'd assume all things to do with YouTube poop, like with the Frollo show or King's Epic Adventure. It's just shitposty. Like, I kind of was kind of evolving the way, like, oh, how is this character getting in here? It kind of like some random ideas got strung together, like Dumbledore introducing Umbridge and Watson Rosaline with the game, and I was like, oh, I could do some more stuff with this. And then like the 4 characters from like the second slot voting, like Frisk to Psycho Dad, I was like, what if there's a story that put them all together? And then it's kind of snowballed from there. It did definitely start as doing something fun, but like by the time like Dio and Ospen end up getting introduced, I really started to think about like some cool ideas in terms of like what certain things could represent. Like at the moment, there are things that don't seem super deep, but like kind of the big story thing that's driving like the static, and stuff about what I've thought about for the world's backstory and characters' backstory. There is an interesting theme that I kind of want to build up in regards to characters and creation. And it kind of goes back to the way that I'm glad that people are like finding inspiration, like the same inspiration I felt years ago. And I kind of want that to kind of like, at the end of the day, when the lore story wraps up, kind of be the big main theme.
Yeah, that's a real nice answer. When you said when some things may not be as important, I was thinking to myself, the R for board game's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. It's gonna be super evil.
There's like a big door, and there's a perfectly Arthur Boards game shaped square in it.
Well, actually, I got a comment. Like, so we have Ospen, we have all these. I want to see like head of the mansion. Were they all planned out? Like, with Umbridge's intro, you think Dumbledore was kind of just the throwaway? Oh yeah, this wasn't as planned before, but you actually kept Dumbledore in as the one of the heads. So I guess any comments about all the heads and all that?
It was definitely like, it also did start like with Dumbledore. It started the seat of the pants, and then Watson Rosaline as fighter PR. Like, it's really easy to write lore for characters. You can just type the things for. But I like, honestly, I kind of looked at what I had on my roster already, and I was like, what characters could really like tie into a leadership role, and like why and how would certain things kind of go about. And just honestly straight shooting around like 2018 is when I actually first watched RWBY, and I got really inspired with Ospen as a character. He's honestly very fascinating, especially like, I kind of want to touch on a bit later. He has a bit of moral gray morality to him, and I thought like with Beatdown already having these characters of like different like weird moral levels in the mansion, I thought like what could be the greater purpose of this? Like why are they getting these characters here? And that's kind of something that's like, all right, this is a good character that would kind of like be the bridge into that.
All right. Well, one more. ASGORE. What about him?
ASGORE was 100% like there was a throwaway line in the long forgotten Papyrus Undying Codec call where ASGORE kind of approved the new home canonically having arena set up for Beatdown. And then from there, I was like, why isn't ASGORE more involved in this? Especially, like, I've kind of established this after the pacifist ending. Like, this is pure pacifist Frisk. That this would definitely be another good way for ASGORE to want to bridge the gap between humans and monsters by working with this human organization.
All right. Out of curiosity, do you think you're the fault of all the Undertale and Deltarune sets we keep getting?
Oops. No, honestly, I won't call myself the fault usually because like it was something that kind of started beforehand. Like there was, I think in Frisk's intro, you kind of see there's the old Sansa Papyrus moveset and the LLC Flowey and Undyne. So I thought like this is kind of like a natural conclusion, kind of go up for it. And then Chapter 2 of Deltarune came out and I met a little man named Spamton who ruined my life. I honestly feel like Undertale and Deltarune, especially now, are like popular enough that it's always kind of gonna be in the LoL zeitgeist because it kind of like overlaps a lot of people's interests.
Yeah, we got a lot of Undertale and not a lot more Deltarune actually. It's bad that we have coming up. I'd even argue there's some Undertale slots that I could see getting a set.
Yeah, like I'd still love to see a Metaton at some point.
What's your favorite character to write lore for? Like, specifically? Like, who do you think, okay, this guy really shines in the lore. I can't wait to put him in here.
Whew. Well, I'm gonna put Tord in the corner right now. Tord has gotten significantly easier because I started voicing him, but he's fun, but he's not my top character to write for. He just shows up a lot because it's easy, and people like him, and I do enjoy putting Tord in. But honestly, at the moment, like everything I've done so far with Viola and the Batter, I've had a lot of fun with that I can't wait to touch a bit more on. Because I think like it's kind of this third party faction, not like a heroic character duo, not 100% villainous duo, but they're doing their own shady thing. And I think the way Viola like kind of explored that she's kind of feels trapped in this contract with the cat who wants to keep getting souls, and the Batter needs a purpose, and their fates kind of intertwine. Like there's a lot of cool ideas I have with them coming up in the future, and I'm honestly Harry's outro was a good snippet of what I had in store.
Oh yeah, Harry's outro is very, I want to say very memorable, and probably will get quite a big follow-up, which I presume to be Blockhead's outro. Yes,
Blockhead's outro is going to be the full Petroglyphus fight.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like how things kind of link up to each other. Do you ever have that like planned out? Like, okay, this moveset is going to lead up to this moveset in the lore, and that's why this character needs to be here.
Yeah. So, like the earliest example going far back is like Frisk, Dan, Viola, and Psychodad. But there have been other times where I kind of wanted to do some fun link ups, like all the way back in Gary. I've always planned Stew to happen like at the same time. So that payoff was really good to do. Crystal Gems and Vriska were another, mostly because I thought like in what they want to accomplish, like the Gems facing off against Dio and Vriska wanting to kind of go guerrilla and get her own answers. I thought those two happening at the same time would also be like a cool idea. But yeah, and even now, like there are certain things that I can't wait to kind of build on. Like, of course, you're going to see what happened to the end of Wolfer's Scepter and stuff like that. So there's some things I definitely do cook, but There's also things like Mavilda that are 100% standalone.
I think the standalones can be funny, especially for newer viewers. But I do like the Connective story. It makes it very impressive when you watch everything. I do also like how we get some umbrage from Harry's outro, because I feel like we didn't get that much of her in our own lore segments, because the lore wasn't that thought out. So, you know, it allows characters connected to other characters to get their own little story bits, and that's good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think she definitely deserved it, because her old intro was just mostly unedited clip from a Harry Potter sequel, and that's it. She's kind of gotten snippets here and there over the years, but I was like, I need to get something with umbrage.
Yeah, I do like, what was it? I feel like there's stuff that happens in the lore segments that you don't think are as planned, but then you watch the other stuff. Oh no, that's very planned. The Dangerous thing. Oh, he forgot the batter. Oh no, the batter just didn't want to go. That
was planned all along.
Tord appearing behind the gen was Vriska fucking with Tord. It's amazing. I really like it, and it's very connective. I do enjoy everyone else's lore in other lulls. I think it's amazing to follow, and they're definitely inspired by your work, me included. But I think your story is very consistent. There's always something to follow along, and that could be ShadBad longevity. That could be Beatdown. You've lived forever. That could be Beatdown's longevity, and that's pretty nice that other people are inspired off of each other's lore. I guess any comments on anyone else's lore that you're interested in?
No, yeah, like, and honestly, it's really cool to see. But yeah, like, honestly, the whole Mirai-verse with Throw Some Lol Z, and then also combined with Cassette and Of the Lost, has always been like fun, very fun and hugely inspiring. Like, I honestly think the way Mirai puts things together very much feels like we're kind of going back to the roots of some things Shin would do in like a very good way, and like doing like the fun battle scenes with like Loyal Fumble and Manix vs. Face of Fear are still like really fun for me. I also really like the way Zab does things. Like, he is a very creative person at heart, and that's always something I've admired even back with like DCAS. And like kind of this whole greater universe of his like stories in his world intersecting with Odyssey is fun. And I'm also especially excited to see more Odyssey stuff and Odyssey lore after the YouTube poop versus creepypasta videos that he's done. And there's this guy named Mononer. His is okay, I guess. But yeah, I honestly do really like the whatchamacallit, the visual novel things you've done so far, with like in Facilier's outro when some of the dialogue was the visual novel style. I honestly think it's a really nice change of pace, and it's a good way to get around, like, because sentence mixing is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that was done because basically the sentence I do plan on sentence mixing bits and other stuff. Sentence mixing will be done for more comedic bits. If I ever go in the visual novel style, that's merely because I want to tell my story.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very good approach to it. Like, I'm like, all memeing aside, I honestly am very interested to see where Cross Up goes.
Speaking on the lore, I guess we went to the mansion side. Let's go to the evil side. Dio and let's just get Dio. I think Dio's very iconic, even to people who don't even know that much about JoJo like myself. We want to talk about him?
Oh yeah, so like, Dio is definitely one of those characters that's very easy to recognize. There's so many memes that Dio spawn, like Kono Dio Da, the Road Roller, the World, Muda. I'm listing off the greatest hits of Dio Brando.
There's definitely kids who've like just gone to the LoL community who don't know what you're talking about.
He's just saying words. I honestly thought like Dio is, well, first of all, when I first conceived the moveset, I was like, this is gonna be a fun character. I thought, honestly, like, Dio's first kind of showing up in Dan's was kind of so I could use the JoJo to continue with Roundabout, because Dan Backslide has the Runabout. But honestly, the more I've thought about Dio and kind of like him being this little bitch doing his thing, the more I was like, "Ooh, what more can we do with this?" And it's definitely, honestly, Dio. The whole Dio side definitely got a bit more like fleshed out internally before the mansion side pre-Ozpin. But Dio has a lot of like, he's just this calculated bastard. He is good at getting anyone to his side. He is manipulative, but he will like flaunt it as much as possible. And I think like he kind of strikes a good balance with he is a legitimate threat and a serious villain, but he has this posh and this like subtle comedic aspect to him when he does his more absurd things that I think still works very well in like the context of Beatdown and all their characters. Like if I did like point blank Thanos from the MCU, it would feel weird, but like Dio I think is a good middle ground.
Well, we talk about Tord a lot, but I want to talk about the other heads. So Mavilda, Psycho Dad, Flomps, and Dan, and the other JoJo characters. How do you think they fit into the picture? Do you think they're just mooks, or do you think they have like somewhat of a bigger story to them?
There's a little bit of both. There is something that I'm cooking with the Thwomps that if I do get the inkling doing this bonus character, you'll kind of end up seeing a bit. But some characters definitely fall in the mook territory. But like for example, like Dan and Mavilda are like people like easily swayed by greed, which are stand users that Dio has kind of gotten before, like in JoJo. So like with Tord robbing things, it's kind of easy, kind of like pluck him and give him money and a flesh button. They'll do whatever the hell he wants them to do. But definitely the characters in the mansion, like, is kind of like the intel source, and like kind of like the contingency like time bomb Dio has said, if that makes sense. But there is like, outside of like having these people do Dio's errands when he can't go out in the day, there are definitely a lot of ideas that I have cooking for some of the characters.
Also, I just pulled a pink diamond and I forgot about Spinel.
You forgot her!
My bad. She's good. Sorry.
But yeah, I already explored a bit with Spinel and her lore. Something that made even me sad working on.
Oh yeah, but Tord and Spinel friendship is quite iconic in the community.
Yeah, Tord and Spinel are definitely gonna get like a huge, like kind of the biggest side of the story, like the development going in. And that's not even counting the fact that we have 3 more, or technically 5 more coming into.
Alright, pretty nice, pretty good. We'll talk about them later, trust me. How do you go about boarding scenes? I want to say Beatdown's lore or animation is very action-packed, so I imagine you want to like have stuff pre-planned or boarded.
Yeah, so I have been drawing for a long time, and for me it is very easy to kind of visualize things. So I've like, from like when I've done it when I was back in college to now, like sometimes I have downtime at work, I'll like kind of like sketch out like a visual I have in my head. So usually it kind of goes in like poses like I've seen before while watching the show. Like, okay, I remember Garnet stood in this stance, so I'll just kind of draw that representation. But I have done a lot of like storyboards, like very crude storyboards where like I want basic poses, or I want this to go this. That's definitely for the lot of heavy action stuff, like Garnet versus Dio.
Loki versus
When I did, when I did the fight in the DCast movie with DCast and the crew versus Tord Spinel, like this stuff that like I have certain beats I'd want to hit, and I'll just kind of sketch it out and kind of like work with it from there.
All right. Well, speaking of the movie, I want to say your bit in the movie was quite iconic. I was working on it, especially. I imagine you had a fun time working with Quote.
That was a lot of fun. I fucking love Quote. Like, starting working on the movie, I ended up familiarizing myself with Squirrel Kid's videos, and I was like, this little fucking guy rules. I love him. So I think, yes, but Quote especially, and like I think working with the limitations of the characters was really fun in a way, because DCast, like you had like the kind of like dead meme choppiness that he brings. Steamed Hams Man being a meme meant I could just half-ass all the sprites and it would look good for the
I
character.
love it when those characters pop up.
Yeah, and then doing like the meme, like emphasizing the meme side on quote and he cooking was also like fun. So like working on that and kind of like going into the empty slot to like battle, like working with characters I never worked with before in this context is like a lot of fun.
So, how do you go about animating characters, and what are the easiest and hardest thought process with doing it? For example, the Eddsworld characters you can quite draw or kind of replicate the style pretty well, and you have the live action characters like Markiplier.
Yeah, so it really does depend a lot on the characters. A lot of the pixel-based characters like Frisk, Spamton, Viola, the Doctors, I usually do just like either gather sprite sheets or Frankenstein sprites within the sprites, and I usually animate those with ASC Sprite, which is a sprite-based animation program, and that's kind of how I'm able to tweak those a bit. When it comes to most other characters, it is like a matter of cropping, like the good old-fashioned, like I would mainly crop most like movements and sprites so I can kind of put it together in animation. But a lot of the Flash-based characters, I've kind of like... You can definitely see it starting in the Echo Fighters. When I started learning about the Flash decompiler, I am able to kind of like get the SWF files for each character, or for each Flash. Like for example, Hammer and Fail, I would just replace the backgrounds with a green screen, and then I just have a perfectly cropped Eduardo animation right there. And of course, there's a lot of Frankensteining, but it is like there's a lot of thought that kind of goes into making sure the stuff looks like consistent.
Speaking of spriting, the batter. How'd you do that one, eh?
So, the same method I did when I showed up in the direct, I would just kind of put pen to paper. I actually have a folder in the batter's character folder that's all like art references from what Morris Ghost has drawn of him before, which it helps because his style is perfect. It's like already very choppy and supposed to look like not one-to-one in every appearance. So it kind of like, I would still have a model to stay on model, but don't need to 100% stay on model, if that makes sense. So I will just kind of draw it to paper. I have an app on my phone called Cam Scanner where you can like take a picture of something and kind of convert it to like look like it's scanned, which kind of got like the good black and white and grayscale, and then I just crop it from there. And especially with his moveset, a lot of the I kind of did sprite sheets, like bootleg sprite sheets. I would just like draw his head, then draw like 2 different ways his body moves and stuff like that, and then just kind of like assemble it all together, like I was assembling like rogue sprites from like a Flash character. Honestly, it is like he's one of my favorites to animate now because like the process is a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
What character did you struggle a bit when making, like, you're making certain join their moveset? Like, you have, like, I want to say 80% of the character done, but the last 20% is hard. And on that question, how much when doing, like, the balancing act of the movesets, how much do you think it should fit their play style or their character? For example, I think there was a doc of one of the movesets where it showed Stu Pickles had a different side B.
Yeah, so Stu is honestly a great example of that. Like his old moveset that I wrote all the way back in like 2012, was just kind of funny things I put together. And then when I kind of realized the inventor stick, like I was like, all right, like chocolate pudding is the funny meme, but this doesn't work in the context. I still got to squeeze it into the taunt, but like for his general playstyle of who Stu Pickles is overall, that's something that's like, all right, I kind of need to see if there's anything, what else I could do, like with everything else he's done over the series. And honestly, like the balancing act is hard sometimes, I will say, especially when like I think Cheesy's brought this up before with Heb, like a lot of characters have projectiles, and it's just because people like throwing or shooting things in media a lot, and it's like it's hard to avoid this.
They do it a lot.
They do it a lot. Like even like there's a future character that I have his set written out. He's gonna be a Rushdown, but there's so many things that like he has an iconic projectile. I'm like, motherfucker, how do I work with this? So it's you kind of sometimes do have to think outside the box for that, and because of that, that's why my answer to the first part of the question would be PBG. I kind of felt like a kid taking a test when there's 10 minutes left and you have like 2 paragraphs to write. I was like, what do I do? Just kind of re-binging PBG's videos, like, fuck, what do I do here? And I don't feel as bad for doing that because it's an empty slot character and you guys wanted him. But when everything kind of clicked together, it was like, oh, this is peak. This not peak. This works. I like this.
Speaking of the empty slot, how was monitoring empty slot 2, and who were you rooting for?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
How was speaking of empty slots, how was monitoring watching empty slot 2?
It was really interesting. From when I did the first suggestion video, I was honestly blown away with how many I've gotten. Like, I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but I had like a multi-page doc listed of like characters people suggested that I condensed down to just like one, like every character once, and it was still like a huge list. So just even condensing it down to like the 100 or so for the final slot was hard. But once I got that in and kind of saw the way people were voting, I was very intrigued. Like I had suspicions of how empty slot voting would go. Like I thought because of Friday Night Funkin' to be a Tord situation where Tankman would have won like the vote overall and the actual winner would be like behind, but like no. Team Rocket cleared house, which is something I was not expecting. But also seeing the way certain characters like placed was kind of like intriguing to me. Like I did not expect fucking Cat in the Hat to get 10th place.
Speaking of our top 10, what was the idea of having that little fight scene?
Honestly, part of it does come from the fact that like these characters had a lot of votes poured into them. Like I think all of them definitely did go into the triple digit, and there's some really good ideas that I know some people haven't made yet. Some people are probably interested in doing some characters, but I felt like it would kind of be a disservice to kind of leave the characters where they're at and not do anything with them. So when the idea came for like they're fighting for the roster slot, and of course because Team Rocket won and their whole thing is trying to be thieves, like them stealing the invite at the end was a really funny visual. I kind of like it was very Loyal Fumble inspired where like just kind of have these characters show them off and beat the shit out of each other to kind of be like, hey, thank you for voting for him. I know you guys rooted for him. They're not.
The meta message is Suction Cup Man got robbed, literally.
Fuck you! You can't rob Suction Cup Man.
I was really rooting for Walter. I'm very surprised he didn't win.
I know. Like I thought Walter would be second place, but
top 3.
Suction Cup Man inched him out that much.
It was like it's how I felt with like Gandhi and Matt. I was like, damn, he really didn't win. Fuck.
I know he was so close too.
No, my boy. There were a couple.
Who'd expect?
Go on.
Who'd expect Gandhi?
There were a couple characters from the first empty slot that didn't make it to the second. Any story behind that? And how was the cutting process of that?
Ooh, the cutting process was really interesting for that. There's some. I don't want to get into controversial topics. There are some characters that are like, all right, I'm not going to touch this anymore with a 50-foot pole. But there are also some characters that like, when I was looking over the list and kind of bringing characters back, there was a mix of like, all right, this character is announced for this lull, and I'd feel shitty kind of yoinking it. So like, for example, like Scratch and Grounder and John Arbuckle, they have a great home in Odyssey. So I was like, all right, I'm fine with kind of benching that. But then there are other characters like fucking Best Mulan.
All the
that I'm
Best
just
Mulan
like
fans out there, how dare you?
I know. That I'm just kind of like, I'm not gonna fucking do this character. I'm not gonna have fun if I had to do this character. So I'm not even gonna attempt to entertain this.
There were some characters that were replaced, but like they still got like kind of their senior represented. Like Cartman was replaced with Butters.
Yeah, like
Is that because you like Butters more? That's it.
I did. I think all of the 4 South Park kids and Butters were suggested, but like I've always had a soft spot for Butters. He's just a little guy.
Man, I got really. I think the only character I missed was Tomoko.
Yeah, I think it was because of Demic.
I like Monomi.
She wasn't able to come back. Yeah.
So, the winners. Let's talk about them.
Woo!
All right, Team Rocket. How do you feel about these Robaceous guy? A little bit, unironically. I know like the rival list is like public in the Discord. A little bit me fuck because the Crystal Gems like thing is like a trio with a little bit of gay. I thought, is that Team Rocket?
They all 3 of them are different sexualities, but you don't know which because it shifts every day.
But yeah, how do you feel about them?
Honestly, at first I was kind of like, they're like a mix of emotions. I was surprised, really surprised that they did as well as they did. Part of me thought like, oh, are people thinking that Team Rocket are one of the special characters? But they are like iconic Pokemon characters, like to the point where they even got to show up in the games because people love them so much. And then it kind of like, over the year while I was working on the direct, I kind of would have to think about what I would have to do for Team Rocket in the future, and I would get really nervous because I'm like, holy shit, there is a lot to these characters, and it's very easy to fuck them up and to mess this up. But I've kind of gotten to a point, especially like when I was animating their scene and I kind of like rewatched stuff from the anime, I was like, I got ideas. I think I can make this work. So I am feeling a bit better about them. I better make it work.
In the tier list, they have their own icons. Will they be attack team?
Yes, but not in the same way that the gems are.
Okay. Next up, Tank Men, not man, men.
Ugh. So it is. They're very much like when I put the crystal gems in the first empty slot. Like it wasn't like the choice was very deliberate to be like, all right, this is how I'd represent them. And they're ones like I mentioned, I thought they would get the tour treatment where because of Friday Night Funkin' was popular, they would like skyrocket in the votes, but I think they got like 13th or 14th overall. Pico still beat them out, which is funny. But they are like, it is funny looking at Beatdown with the Flash representation I have, and then like the last one that's currently announced is like literally the face of Newgrounds, the Flash website. But yeah, it's also combined with kind of like Tord. I have a really fun idea to make them work, and like you can also kind of see in the tier list, they are one icon, but they aren't gonna. Again, they're not gonna go the way you think they will.
I got to call Tank Man and not Tank Man and Steve. I don't know.
Tank Man and Steve.
And Steve. Next up, Mr. Okay, I want to talk about Mr. Crocker and Loki together because they were kind of revealed a bit earlier with the intro. I think a lot of people chewed them out.
Yeah, I saw that was one of the questions that was asked in your community post. But yes, they're two very clearly on Dio's side in the intro. Ed and Kakyoin also had their silhouettes there, but they're like a bit harder to make out. But
don't reveal where they are. I want people to go on a scavenger hunt to see if they can find it.
But no, yeah, if you can find it, if you find my prize, you win nothing.
So Crocker, I think fits for Helman Beatdown, especially after the Butch boss.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Crocker is a character that definitely feels very, very overdue. He is just so zany and so, like I know, like his Very Odd Parents has gotten bad as the years went on, but Crocker has always stayed consistently entertaining at least, and it it made me feel not as bad having to watch the new Poopy seasons.
The Rock.
But he is yeah, no. But can't wait to bring up more of him and his very good parents.
One of his ults is him just animating the Flash animation style.
Oh no! He's all weirdly bouncy.
His animal form is just him as a kid. No, it was like they made a kid version of him just so they could write Crocker into the kid episode.
Yeah, like
thing, by the way.
I don't remember the name.
Him.
His nephew.
Yeah.
I gotta look this up now.
He's real, by the way. I don't know
It's
why.
Kevin Crocker. He's Crocker, but with red shoes and he's small.
And you know what's worse? When they switched to Flash, they gave him a fucking rig. They still used him.
They still use him.
They went out the way to give him a rig. Oh, Loki then.
Loki. So yeah, back when I did the classic mode, like the explanation video I did, and there were some other characters that would be fought for the boss battle, like Dio. Loki is one of them. He kind of matches a similar master energy to Dio, but he has a bit more like legitimate tragedy to him, and kind of has a bit more. I'll say a bit more morality.
I think it's interesting because I think if people are just watching your videos, they will just assume Loki's the evil Marvel guy. But if people who actually follow the MCU and watch like Thor Ragnarok, you can see there's dimension around him. Like when he like gave Edward that little flashback to his brother. I think that you can see that through different contexts if you know who Loki is.
Oh yeah, that was 100% the intention too. Like he's a character that I'm also very excited to get into more in the lore.
Mr. Short Stack Edward. You know what's funny?
What is it called?
Yeah. You know what's funny about Edward? I did not give a fuck about him, and then my partner got me into Full Metal. Like, oh shit, I really like him. They're like, oh shit, he won. What the hell?
I think the same thing happened with Scap. She started watching Full Metal Alchemist like a few weeks before the direct dropped. I was like, ooh.
Oh, it's the guy!
It's him!
It's the funny canon guy. I'm really excited for Edward.
Oh yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is fucking peak anime. It's something that alongside Avatar, it's something me and my wife like to rewatch like at least once a year. But like, I think with the whole alchemy system, it's gonna be really fun to kind of get into like special ways that Ed can like make himself a lot more distinct from like anime guy who punch or have sword. And like kind of going that the lore too, I'm very like happy with his little segment in the character reveals, because I kind of deliberately modeled it after like the first episode of Brotherhood and the whole thing within Lior, the whole arc with Father Cornelio, where like you kind of get everything about Ed at once, from like this is the way this kid acts, he's smart but he's hot-headed, and something really fucked up happened with his arm and leg and brother.
Yeah.
And you kind of get that perfect character introduction that I'm like, I honestly think like it was really fun.
Well, we have
incorporating that in his whole thing.
We have two Eds now in Beatdown.
Ed Eduardo.
Ed Eduardo. Bum bye. That dude, I cannot wait for Edward and Markiplier to interact. I need to see it.
Hello everybody, my name is Mace Hughes.
You're alive. Out of curiosity, because they're quite a duo, will Alphonse make any appearance in Beatdown?
Yes, I've had actually some thoughts about Alphonse. I was even thinking about having Alphonse cameo a bit in the outro, in the reveal segment, but honestly, like, I have some ideas on the back burner, like how Alphonse could show up.
All right. Well, I like it. We'll see. And I forgot his name. What, Jiron? What's his?
Who?
Dude, is this Jiron? The JoJo guy?
Kakyoin?
Kakyoin, that's his name.
Where did he get Jiron?
I don't know. Listen. Okay. So we had a discussion about this in the Discord. Kakyoin's probably the beatdown character where it's like, okay, it's him. I imagine people are excited for him that know what JoJo is. I don't. I don't know.
Oh yeah. It is definitely like a representative like wild card pick, because like everyone's first thought was Jotaro, and the other JoJo character in the empty slot was the main villain of Part 6 who has ties with Dio. But no, I went with Kakyoin, and he was a special character. It is just, I am honestly very, first of all, for people that know, justice for Kakyoin, he's fairly underrated.
Oh.
But it is definitely like a full concept. Like, I love the concept I have for the character, and I think it'll be really fun. And especially like considering that Dio's making his presence a bit known in the lore, it's good that they have someone that actually knows Dio.
That's interesting, because you think you'd get JoJo, but here's Kakyoin.
Yeah.
We saw a bit of Dio in the classic mode. Do you think he'll fight quite similar to Dio, or will he have a different like gimmick of a stand?
Yes, he'll have definitely a different gimmick. Dio's whole thing, I'm going to talk as vague about it as possible, but you can kind of glean from the classic mode that he has a vampiric focus where he can kind of fight on his own, because like vampires in JoJo were stupid broken, and then like he has everything with the world that kind of like he kind of fights differently depending on whether he has the world on or not. Kakyoin, his stand Hierophant Green is very tied into him intrinsically as a person, so he is definitely gonna, like, he's not gonna send out his stand. They're gonna fight as one instead of like having like a toggle.
That's nice. And oh wait, no, before we fucking move on, I gotta talk about this is between me and you. This is personal.
Who?
Fucking, I fought Mako, right? I thought Ruby would be Mako's rival so fucking bad, dude. You fucker, you put him in the empty slot, and you knew you were gonna use him.
I've heard a lot of good things about Soul Eater. I was like, I think this would be, if she makes it high, I think it would be cool.
You haven't seen Soul Eater, you bitch.
I've had so many fucking people tell me Mako would be a great rival for Ruby. I was like, all right, I'm gonna believe you. I will. Like, there are some characters in the empty slot that I thought would be great to kind of get invested in their source, but I also picked characters that I knew I would kind of be interested in, instead of being like, I'm gonna pick Billy's fucking object show character and put him in the empty slot and had to force myself to watch that. I want to get invested in things I'd be interested in, damn it.
Shad hates object shows, by the way. No object show character will appear in Beatdown.
Fuck objects. Things for life.
No, but dude, Mako was so fucking. She even got a death battle. I peeked so bad.
They did get the death battle.
They got the death battle, and I DM'd you. I was like, oh yeah, look at this, it's pretty cool. And you were like, how do I tell him? I call it Kakyoin.
How should we tell him?
Kakyoin Jiro, where the fuck his name is.
Jerry.
I think the only like cool connection they have though is both of their like characters are linked to Dio and Ospen are like the heads of each side, so that's neat.
Yeah.
But still, fuck you, Kakyoin. It should have been Maka. Dude, she has Sai. Yeah, I know. I'm going too long about it. Sorry.
Mr. Steal your rival.
Kakyoin, Jiron, whatever. All right, Wilfrey or Wilfire, however it's pronounced.
I always pronounce it Wilfer. I think Wilfrey is definitely maybe the developer's intention, because his whole thing is about like representative free will. But
I don't know what the fuck this guy's from.
Drawn to Life peak DS game. It has, the first game is very fun. The second game, if you play the one with the original ending, will rip your heart out. If you know, you know. But Wilfer is always been a character I've been like transfixed on, like for years. I think he is like when I played in middle school, I'm like, this is a cool, edgy guy. He's made a shadow, and he's like, rah, I'll kill you. But like, especially with themes in the second game, there are some surprising layers to his character, and like I think combining that with like this representative force of nature in the lore, like when you get the villains together, is really, I think it's going to be a fun contrast versus like Dio was like the calculating like mastermind. The creator has his perfectionist thing that's going on. Spamton's wild card bitches, but Wilfer is more like representative the force of nature, and there's especially a lot that's gonna like I want to kind of unveil with his lore. It's gonna be like an interesting turning point.
I also, now that I realize what this game is from, I only know what it is because I saw the Lonely Goomba cover it. Alright, that's all of them. Well, actually, before we move on from empty slots, was there anyone in particular in the empty slot that may have a chance of, seeing some light in Beatdown, maybe?
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 If I say Maka, will you put the gun away?
I wasn't even thinking of Maka. I was thinking of my Dangan boys for Yuhiko and Pekka. I love that concept. I'm very sad they didn't even get it that far.
No, yeah. Even back then, I'm like, I think this would go hard as a moveset, honestly. Like maybe we'll see, but there are definitely some ideas that like I'm still thinking about in the back of my head. Obviously, I don't want to give too many away, but so there's at least one of the characters from the Loyal Fumble-esque empty slot reveal I'm considering.
I like that. I guess it also makes me think that Sakuken had a chance to shine. So are you saying there is like a chance for any of the empty slot guys who didn't get in to have a home?
Oh yeah, there is definitely a chance.
Okay. Empty slots are a quite common thing in the community. Was there like any empty slot guy that you've seen recently that has never won one or like got in a LoL? Like, damn, it'd be really cool if we see them in a LoL.
I wouldn't say recently, but one character that like I'm shocked has not shown up yet, especially showing up in empty slots, is Finn and Jake. Like, for all of Adventure LoL, all Adventure Time has gotten in LoL was like lemon grab. But like Adventure Time is over. They're doing the sequel series with Fiona and Cake. There's a lot there, and I'm honestly surprised, especially with like Finn and Jake being regulars in empty slots. Like, they really should get something.
Yeah. Comments on, well, so for context, Mirai has been quite vocal about the eras of LoL, and we are currently in the community era. Any comments about the community era?
I think it's a great way to put it, honestly. It is definitely, we feel a lot more united than we ever have between like the Aureus Discord server and like the ultimate tier lists and the ultimate wiki. I'm glad we're getting this level of like putting everyone together. I'm tired of putting people down. And that whole mindset, I'm very glad we're kind of like in this level of like we're all doing something fun and we got to share it together.
Yeah. I think that also makes getting cameos quite easy. Speaking of cameos, how do you feel about the concept? You use them quite sparingly in your videos.
I love cameos. I'm getting to the point where like I'm planning cameos for some of the future character movesets, but I think it's a really fun way to because like every character is done in a certain LoLs have certain ways that they do characters, but at the end of the day, it's still a Smash character. So being able to kind of incorporate them and kind of, by extension, the flavor of that LoL in like a scene is really fun.
Yeah. How do you go about like stage making, or not like making it like stage representation? For example, Markiplier went through a few stages before you settled on the Markiplier interactive games. And Darkiplier has a stage based on, I think, called Vanity, or...
Vanish. Yeah, that's one you can thank Hepla for. He was very, like... He fought hard for that idea in my DMs, and I was like, I think this could work. And there's some good ideas I have for that, but, no, yeah, a lot of the times it kind of... I won't say it usually goes down to like frequency, but like things that would make sense for a stage. Like, for example, like Ruby's on the mind because I've been rewatching some stuff, but I went with the stage being the Colosseum from Volume 3 because it shows up throughout the whole of that volume, but it's something that, like, there are a lot more unique things you could do, like both visually and, like, what's the word, hazard-wise, compared to, like, if I were to just do like Beacon Academy. Like, yeah, it's recognizable, but for me personally, it would be a bit harder to kind of make the stage look good without, like, making scaling weird. So it's like with movesets, it's very much a balancing act.
Actually, speaking on that, Mark's, I remember when Mark's stage got changed. Like, yeah, plus the old stage was fucking ugly. A war stage.
Wow, what a fucking stage. I had literally nothing else. I was like, I guess this could work as a stage. I was literally working on his moveset video. I was like, fuck, what can I do?
Should have done flying warp stashes.
Oh.
I'm very excited.
Fine.
I'm very excited for what is the dismountiplier in Oreos.
That's gonna be a very funny set. I'm very curious of how he's gonna cook that.
Like, how can we have more Markiplier reps? Another version of Markiplier. I can't wait for that Wilfred Warp stash someone's gonna do one day. It's like there's like characters that are linked to one of them. Like, oh yeah, someone's gonna do it because of that moveset. Like, I could feel a Coach C's moveset somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. I would fucking love to see someone do Coach C.
These people tried to fade me.
Hey, Strongbait, that means smash booters.
Good cheer. What? It's like they're a victory together. Could you list some of your favorite movesets as of recent, or just in general?
Oh, that's a hard one. In a very, like, recent example, fucking Satana was fantastic.
That's how you pronounce it?
I think because she's like Satan.
Yeah, she is Satan. I thought it was Satina, not Satana.
There, you're good. Honestly, I don't think I'm pronouncing it right either. But no, yeah, that was a fucking fantastic return to form for Dreams.
Yeah. They said in a comment that that would be like the last slice of life girl because they feel like that Dream is becoming too much like that. It's like, ah, damn, that sucks. But this is kind of a cool character to cap it off with.
But yeah, I also really like the some of the recent Prime movesets. Like Homer fucking knocked out of the park for representing Homer Simpson.
I was like, I wouldn't do that. Like, oh, you're doing that? Okay, good job. Oh, you did a good job.
Yeah. Jackenstein's another one that's. Oh, and fucking Coconuts was also really good. I'm just kind of listing off this stuff, but there's been a lot of good shit that came out last year and like last month that it's hard for me to pinpoint.
You're taking too long.
You're too.
You're too. Any upcoming characters in LoL? Like any LoL you're excited for?
Fucking the Mad Empty Slot.
Oh, just all
had
all,
some
all of
fucking
them?
peak choices. Especially like Robbie Rotten. But also fucking Freddy Got Fingered is a character I can only see working in Mad. And I am really excited
I
for
watched that
one.
movie after that empty slot.
Movie of all time.
He gets into a deer.
But,
He gets into a deer for a side beat and gets super.
Don't ask how. It like Stephen Quire down B. But yeah, and Nova Slot was also very exciting. I also can't wait to see the Diamonds and Toon Lucina.
Yeah. Ooh, all right. I'm very glad. I think out of the 4 that are left, she's probably the most people want to see next.
Yeah.
Too bad it's great. Chin man.
My fucking moveset, mate.
Are there any characters that were cut or from abandoned LoLs you'd love to see again?
That's a good question. I know, like, going all the way back to ARL, like, he had Mordecai and Rigby for a bit, and they got cut for like copyright things. That is a goddamn shame, because a regular show rep would be very funny to see. It would, like, I think it would fit LOL very perfectly.
We do have a Mordecai and Rigby transformed.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Retract that statement. Lixian, cut that out. Lixian.
When I gave you that suggestion, was that before you finalized it or after?
No, that was before. You actually helped a lot with that.
Oh, nice.
So we can thank you for that.
Wait, so to answer the question, like, who would you pick besides Mordecai and Rigby?
Thanks to Cheesy, we're not getting Komeda. I want to see a nice Komeda moveset.
I'm very surprised there wasn't at least one Dangan character in the Mad slot. Okay.
I know.
Komeda would have been nice. I think P's like Komeda a lot, so.
Yeah, there are like a couple times I see P's with the Komeda profile picture.
Is Komeda your answer then?
Komeda is definitely my answer right now.
Bagels.
Bagel. Hashime.
Is this more of a creative question I loved? So you're about to go in a subspace war. You're about to fight all like the creatures from subspace, and you get to pick free character from your roster to take in the war. Who you picking?
Ooh. This is where I get my my theory crafting. I would definitely, like, first choice would be Vriska Circuit. She has attained the god tier, and I think, like, she is really good at fucking shit up. I would also, another choice would be Dio, because he can stop time and he's a little bastard like that. And another one who just kind of clear like hordes of enemies. And number 3 for Battle for Subspace is technically cheating. I would choose Kieran because they would summon an army.
Ah, yeah, fair. You just picked all the OP ones, damn. I think anyone who's in the LoL community or makes LoL has you know, a relationship to animation. How did your relationship start? Are there any shows that really are like so attached to you? And what have you been watching recently?
So yeah, I'll definitely, like, you know, I grew up with SpongeBob SquarePants. I was a Nick and Cartoon Network kid. I think like that whole era of animation saw a lot of like fun stuff with it. But 2 and like shows that definitely like I love the action aspect of, Danny Phantom and Avatar have always been like shows I was obsessed with as a kid, and I still like fucking love, especially Avatar. And then like beyond that, like Homestar Runner and Eddsworld, when I got like more like online, are definitely ones that like also are like a very big staple for like animation for me. And then like branching out on that, like a lot of like Newgrounds Flash animations like Super Mario Bros. Z, I would definitely list as well. But recently I haven't really had that much time to like really go into new shows, unfortunately.
I've said this many times in my streams, but how do you feel about how I call them the Beatdown Quartet? The people who have not gotten their sets yet, that being Blockhead, Ruby, Dio, and Psycho Kid.
I also cannot wait to get to their movesets. Between like the actual concepts with the characters themselves and the lore stuff, like they're definitely a high priority right now. But they're like, yeah, they really did come in this weird time. Where like they got announced in special ways, but like they had to kind of wait on the back burner of empty slot characters, and me being a little fucko who was like, I want to put Cheddar in now. So like for me, they feel very overdue, and I really want to get to them as soon as possible.
Speaking of surprise characters, I think you're very popular. You're popularized with them. Cheddar, Gario, Flom, Stew, all those. Are there any characters that you already have revealed or done sets for that you think would have worked better as surprise fighters, or do you think they work better as just announcing them and getting all these little shits in here and like weird surprises?
No, I'm definitely happy with the way I've announced a lot of them. Like, I think it's definitely like a bias in how I thought about things, but like for someone like Gary Oak, is like he is a little asshole who shows up and is like, "Hey everybody, fuck you," So like that worked really well as a surprise, but like I don't know if I could see like Viola or Psycho Dad being a surprise character in the same vein. Um, so I really like doing surprise characters that are just kind of like these series you wouldn't initially think about, and it's like, holy shit.
So when making character movesets, what is the thought process? Do you think, okay, I really like this thing and I want to represent it in a fun way, or I more want to do this because it will fit my lore better?
Honestly, it really does go for character first. Like, it is honestly very rare that I think of a character for the lore potential. It's usually the other way around. I kind of have to find a way to work them into the story. But it is usually like either I really like this character or this thing and I want to represent it, or I have like a cool idea for how to get it like out there in the zeitgeist. Like for example, like Thwomp's mechanic. The ideas I have for some of the special characters like Hakuin and Tankmen. Like the concept phase like definitely played a big part in that.
All right. When I know there's a public tier list of your cut characters, but is there any interesting stories about the cut characters on Beatdown, or do you think they're just, you know, speak for themselves?
Definitely the most interesting that I touched upon with like the little trivia card in the direct is that PewDiePie and Tobuscus were actually the first characters in Beatdown, and StrongBad is number 3, but he ends up winning by process elimination. But yeah, like it's definitely like a bold choice to do a YouTuber first, I think, because especially with like there's a lot you can really work with for YouTube characters. But you can also, if as a little fun fact, PewDiePie's Neutral B, which was summoning Stefano, his little gold statue would give him a attack buff, and this concept was kind of worked into Tiny Box Tim, but reversed.
All right. As for my final question, we finally got there. A little bit personal, but you don't really. But answering the best way you possible. I think a lot of people, especially now that are more lawlers, are kind of at that stage of a life where they're balancing stuff while doing this hobby, balancing a job, balancing school. Like I'm currently in university right now, and I'm doing law on the side, which is awful combination. Don't do it. Don't go to university. But how do you feel about it, and how have you balanced your IRL stuff with your law stuff? It's an open fact that you're married now. That was, I think, last year, right? Congratulations on that.
Yes. Thank you.
How did that happen? Like, how'd you get married? But how the balancing act of like, okay, I got my IRL stuff and I got my law stuff. I gotta separate them somehow, but also put time into both.
So it is 100% like a priorities thing. For like whenever I do get the urge to really work on something for Beatdown, I gotta know that there is a time and a place for everything. Like I'm not gonna bust my computer out at like a going out to dinner with someone or like in the middle of like the work day. It is you definitely kind of have to realize what's a bit more important. Because at the end of the day, it is a hobby. It's a really fun thing to do. So it's something to kind of squeeze into your free time. And when you really think about it and get into it, it's great. You kind of do whatever you want with it. But I know personally, like, especially like when it comes to having a partner, like a relationship is 100% 50-50. And you really do need to give your time. And I was like, you know, I love my wife and I want to give her as much time as I can. But I also, like, I know there's sometimes I want to work on something. But it's just all about balance. Kind of make sure you can do what you need and how you can.
That's really sweet. That's really nice. I really appreciate it, and you're a real figure to the community, and we appreciate you a lot, Chad.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, now we can get to the questions. While we're recording this, I put a little community post down of people of the LOL community to ask you questions. I'm sure We have a lot of people who want to ask you a lot of things, so let's get to it. Thank you for everyone who followed the requirements of just one question, and to those who didn't, you stink.
Ew.
Ew. I'll just go down and find these real quick. This one is from Aiden Fitzpatrick. He asked, will there ever come a time when you might branch out towards original ideas after Beatdown eventually comes to an end?
It's definitely something that I've thought about. It's not something I usually post about outside of friend groups, but I do have this little OC world I've been working on for on and off with a bunch of fantasy characters because I low-key love fantasy. I think kind of bringing that to life as a story, either a comic or even somehow in some animated thing on YouTube would be a fun creative venture in the future.
I really like your choreography of action, so I think you do well there.
Thank you.
Next up, your boy Lou asks, who's a character you want to see a moveset to be made for, but don't feel like making it yourself?
That's a good one. Definitely something I want to think about. I think Star Wars is such a big thing that especially in the cultural zeitgeist that if someone did a full cool Star Wars moveset, which I know
Darth Vader.
There's Darth Vader and Hearts. It's it's not something I would personally do, but once seeing other people actually do it, it's going to be really cool, and I'm excited for Vader and Hearts. Yeah.
Shreckles with stupid bitch ass stupid poop face of Lol Aureus asks, when's Tord the Third? We already have 2 Tords of Tord and Cheddar.
2035.
It's just a Norway flag with a gun.
It's Tord's final form.
Final form!
I am become Tord.
He evolves. Hazza the Humor Hazard basically asks, would you consider a rival poll for a potential Beatdown empty slot for AM?
That's definitely something that I've thought about. A couple empty slots, I know Nova especially did some really fun rival polls, and especially with the characters I've revealed, there's still a lot of characters that don't have their rivals revealed yet. And I think doing I have an idea on how I would present a specific rival poll, but it's definitely right now I'm not gonna be thinking about that. Maybe in the future though, it might be something fun to do.
Number 1 Mike fan says, are you playing something big for the 10th anniversary since it's coming up soon?
I am, and I definitely have plans in place. It's definitely something going to be working on and off over the year, but that's all I can say about it.
Sketch the Artist asks, what are some upcoming LOL spin-offs that have not been released yet that you are most hyped for?
Definitely Scrap Dash. I think the aesthetic that Static is going for is very creative, especially for the the fan-made Smash whole thing we do. So I think it's going to be a very fun breath of fresh air.
I want to say stuff Scrap
one.
Dash existing is probably thanks to, I want to say, changes in the community we've had, OCs like Mario Nugget.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Static's been in the community for a bit, so it's cool to see them branch out to set making. I think the same's happening to I think his name is Blue.
Yes.
Yeah. Good stuff. Bernardo Lol asks, which character from any other LOL would you choose for your roster if you could?
Oh boy.
I'll steal it! No one will ever
know! I'm gonna have to pop the tier list real quick. I just want to double check. Because there have been so many cool characters over the years that I would want to... I will steal from myself. I think I had something written down. like there are definitely some from LOL original. There's some characters I've thought about would be really fun to do. I don't want to list any in case I go through with any wink wink, but what's a character that would really want to go for?
Don't worry, there's only 600 of them.
I know. Pick up the litter. Oh right, yeah. Mecha Sonic. This is definitely recently biased because I've been rewatching Super Mario Bros. Z, but Mecha Sonic is like a very like internet character. This interpretation of this
got me at a Mecha Sonic.
This like boss.
Got me like a Mecha Sonic and Phantom interaction in my head now. Sir Isaac Fortescue, I'm so sorry. Sir Isaac Fortescue asked, if someone started to turn Beatdown into an actual game, would you approve? And would you do anything to help if you do approve?
100% I would approve. I think like letting people kind of play some of this stuff would be really fun. I would definitely be down to provide as many assets as I have and kind of like get a jump start on getting other characters a bit fleshed out. But yeah, I'm definitely all for that.
Yeah. Master Mars asks, which assist trophy character in LoL do you actually want to see get a full moveset?
Bulk.
Good answer. Good answer.
Muscles.
Hebla asks, now that we're another empty slot out, how do you feel about Peanut Butter Gamer's interaction into your LoL? Did you learn anything when writing interactions for him and such? And do you think writing Team Rocket will be much easier than Peebs?
Yeah, I like Peebs was definitely compared to Mark, Peebs is a lot more like hectic in the stuff that he says. He kind of purposely goes against like having like a structure when it comes to his reviews. So he definitely falls a bit in the comedic relief, which I know Beatdown does have a good amount of in the story. But I am very glad that he's here. I've been a fan of his content, and I think he is I think he brings like a fun flavor to the table, especially when you look at Mark as a YouTuber representation, and he has like Steven and Psycho Dad with all that. Like, it's just a fun new vibe. But in comparison with Team Rocket, I think they're going to be a bit easier to incorporate just as like Dio mooks. But I know like they have a bit more depth to them, so I think like it'd be funny to kind of explore that, especially because like with the shit they like to do and trying to do Pokemon capturing, it's gonna work really well with Crocker.
That'd be good. The Billion One asks, who have been your personal favorite anti-slot cabinets that were not winners or special characters? So I think who's your favorite out of the Royal Fumble you had, the 10?
Oh yeah, Jack Black was I had more fun working with than I thought I would. Flint and Steel.
Been, like,
same with
over, like, oh fuck, they want Jack Black now after that.
Yeah. But also my answer would definitely go to Walter. I think like his juxtaposition compared to like Jack Black calling him a motherfucker and Suction Cup Man rage baiting him successfully, I think was very fun.
You're pretty fucking stupid
It's stupid!
Is a perfect sentence if you watch Breaking Bad.
Fuck you.
Maybe obviously because you see Mike in Cross Up, but obviously I got some Breaking Bad influence in there.
Yeah.
Boyo Oh Boy asks, what is your roster's true main theme? Because there are many characters in the roster that come from wildly different types of media.
I know like early, especially like mid 2010s internet is definitely a big influence outside, combined with like stuff that came out at the time and things that kind of got more popularly memed on at the time. You can kind of see like a lot of stuff kind of fits into that pretty well between like Dan Backslide, the Dover Boy memes, and like some of the game characters came out in like the 2010s, but I think it kind of goes back to like equal parts like early internet, early mid internet, and flash based.
Ultimate user asked, any plans on revealing unlock requirements for any of the non-Echo fighters?
Yes, sporadically. There's going to be some stuff that I want to kind of reveal. I do have one thing I'm planning for a bonus video that's kind of gonna get it a bit into that. So that's a little future thing.
I was very excited for the extra segment of the direct with Professor Oak.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm cracking a cold one out for the boys. Have I ever told how terrific your mother is? Oh, Oak, you stallion, you.
Meow.
Invis asks, for people who want to start their own lulls but aren't sure where to start, could you give a brief overview of the program to use for Beatdown?
Yeah, so my editing software is, well, first, when image editing, I use Metabang, which is an art program, but there are a lot of tools that do help with making spriting. It is free, which is great, but like learning how to use brushes to crop, understanding the limitations and some of the design stuff you can do with it, it is a good like starting tool, I'd say. I also use the Accursed video pad for all video editing. It's very rudimentary. There's definitely things you can kind of discover about it as you like use it, but it has all the basics, has keyframes, has green screening. It's a good stepping stone, I would say.
Danny GJ's asked, what goes into development and process of writing the lore segment, seeing as you use pre-existing clips for most of the characters?
So it usually comes down to like the lore segment itself. I have an idea of what I want to happen, and it's kind of like a puzzle. Like usually characters with text-based dialogue, like the doctors in ASGORE, it's easy to write something. And then you just have to find dialogue from other characters to kind of fill in that gap. But I think a definite good thing that's helping is like finding like transcripts for some media. Like some fan wikis, like Steven Universe Wiki, have transcripts for episodes, so it's good to kind of like scope out dialogue said by characters and if it can fit or not. But it's definitely like you start with a base of a puzzle with what you want to happen, and then you just kind of go from there. Kind of had to put the pieces in, even if you had to make them.
Sydney is Sleepy asked, you're in the community for a while prior to making Beatdown into videos. How did some of your movesets change prior to video form, and were there any movesets that didn't make it to videos you'd like to share?
A lot of them just kind of start like, there are a lot of moves that start with like a concept. So like, character does this, and then when it comes to actually putting it to video, is when all the details kind of get ironed out. When it comes to certain scrapped movesets, there are some, well, outside of scrap characters, I have some interesting scrap like moves for some characters that we have. Like I've already mentioned Nana Sprite. There's also Tord used to have a tank attack before he got Necronomicon. That was going to involve Paul and Patrick a bit more, but I kind of decided like I was having a hard time making it work and look good. And of course, everything I mentioned with Stu and the Thwomps as well kind of had like wildly different up B and Final Smash that kind of got like sidelined for things that are more fun or more iconic.
Discatron asked, who out of the Beatdowns roster would you main?
Carcat would definitely be one. In Smash, I do a lot of zoners. Zoners and sorties are kind of characters I see myself gravitating towards. So like I play a lot like Link, Sephiroth, Byleth, Chrom. I think Carcat kind of fits that mold pretty well because he's got some good disjoints and he's able to get in your face while staying safe.
Later, douche.
Douche.
I guess as a follow-up to that, I know you play other platform fighters like the Nickelodeon game. Like any mains from that you like, or?
Nick All-Star 1, I was very much trying to make Toph work. But I know it's been a while, but Nick All-Star 2, I love playing Plankton because I love the sauce mechanic that they gave him. I think it's a really funny idea.
I see you!
God, I'm so sad we never got that slime time set.
I know, rip.
Rip and piss. Karen, they're pummeling
Karen.
me.
Karen, I'm getting bumbled by Jimmy Neutron.
Got a blast. Trevor asks, I know it's not inherently law related, but given we've seen a lot of your artwork in LOL, what other hobbies do you have?
I'm a gamer. No, but yeah, outside of drawing as well, which kind of reflects in Beatdown, I've been trying to do a bit more like craft work recently. Like I've been, like I'm kind of looking at it now. I've been doing some custom Lego minifigures. So it's kind of like my wife also loves finding little craft hobbies that she likes picking up, like creative artistic things. Like she's done paint by numbers and she's doing beading now. So I'm kind of following suit and kind of like seeing if there's some other things. Like I kind of want to start like making stuff out of clay.
Z Blues says, do you have any plans on making another classic mode video like Ed or any other characters on the roster?
I don't know. Like, if I were to do another classic mode thing, I want to do more interactions or rival things.
Yeah, like that's
like classic mode.
Sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but like that's like the cool thing about the classic modes. Honestly, is the rivals and the bosses. But it's kind of hard because you need to make shit around it.
I know, and like there was so much fucking effort that went to that video that I know it's gonna be a huge commitment. I don't really feel ready for that, especially because I have more stories and more things I want to tell first. Especially too because I'm doing boss battles as like a genre of videos and Beatdown as well. So it kind of like makes some things with classic mode even more redundant. So it would, if I were to do anything, it would be more interactions.
Pink Delilah T says, is there any characters you'd cut from the current roster if you reboot your LoL today?
If you asked me this question years ago, the answer would be Stephen Quire. But the way they came back with their their new videos and like the little Waffle Pum Renaissance is I think I might still do them even if they were rivals first for Psycho Dad. But my answer now would definitely be Umbridge, which pains me because I like how her story is gonna turn up. I love her playstyle as like this. I like her playstyle as like this like brutal grappler. But there are a lot of things about Umbridge, like in general, that like I wouldn't necessarily like kind of put out right now. Like I try to like handle Umbridge in a tactful way, but I think nowadays I wouldn't want to try and touch that.
All right. Considering so much support, like myself with your LOL, have you ever considered having a Patreon just for extra support of your LOL and also exclusive content you have to those who donate?
That's honestly something I've thought about. I think it would be cool. Like even like outside of some exclusive content, like I kind of have a problem with I don't want certain stuff to be gatekept. Like I do like how Chin did early releases. I think doing something like that would be fun. Or even like doing like Patreon exclusive like events with people. But it's something that I've kind of low-key thought about. I think it would be something that I might consider.
Gazooks asks, will there be a dedicated video towards the regular event matches, and will the idea of a multi-man melee video ever return to Beatdown?
No, yeah, I've definitely thought about like doing some future events because I have a lot of ideas I've come up with. I think it'd be fun to kind of bring to life. A lot of them definitely did like depend on, or still do depend on revealing some more characters for it, and some more like items and stages and stuff. But it's definitely something I'd like to do. Do some more event stuff.
The Lost Item Showcase 1 returns.
So, for the record, this was recorded before that April Fool's video came out. Yeah, I guess I predicted that. That's kind of funny. This bastard knew. Fuck you.
But Yeah, about what was that?
There was a Multi-Man thing you announced for Psycho Dad like a bit ago.
Yes, that's something that I have ideas on how to showcase that. It's definitely something I'm still thinking about, like in the back of my mind, mostly because I kind of tease I would be like I would feature a character from Aureus, and I don't want to put too much like work on Shrekel's shoulders. So yeah, it's gonna be there, kind of like with Extras Volume 1, like it's lurking in the shadows, like waiting to strike.
Right next to Target Test and probably something else. No, the Papyrus and Undyne volume.
No,
Megan, you can do it. Trust. The 2 people are waiting for it since 2017.
I won't let all one of you down.
And our final question will be from Emerson Flores that says, are you open to other content creators from open source workshop games such as Framemakers or Rival of Ether to use your character from Lawl Beatdown for fan games?
Oh yeah, no, I think that would be like, anyone wants to get in contact and do like some kind of collab, I would definitely love to do something like that.
We do have that in the community right now with Yeet Sayori, which is, out of all the characters to do, funny.
Yeah, it definitely showcases like the absurdness of Law in a fun way.
She's actually really busted in that game.
Yeah.
Yeet.
But yeet.
God, I love her.
Good jazz. Beat. But yeah, I'm definitely open for the idea. I think it would be fun to try and collab on something like that and provide whatever I can.
All right, well, thanks for coming there, man. That's the Q&A.
Yeah.
I mainly want to do this because 1, I love talking and collabing with people. I've been doing that recently. And B, not 2, I don't know, I really appreciate your work, and I'm very glad I can get your voice out here in the community somehow.
I'm glad. I'm happy to hear. I like that.
Any like closing thoughts you want to point out, or?
Port 3 is gonna come out in 2030. No, that's not gonna be my closing.
It's gonna be the green jacket turret from the Scap Dream video. The oven check.
You like the Echo Fighter.
God.
No.
You know what's crazy? I like Eddsworld Echo Fighters are just like so fucking stupid. You're gonna do the you can do Eddsworld. You can do what is it? What is it? The fucking John and Mark, I think their names are.
What do Mark? Everyone's favorite Eddsworld character, Mark.
People love Mark. I like
People love Mark.
He has a scare. His neutral B can be him running away from bunnies.
He see bunny, he go
ah. It's like. I'm sorry, it's a really bad thing to like reference, but the Eddsworld fan movie, his scream, that movie's fucking terrible, but like that scream is in my head. Ah!
I think that's all that should remain. But yeah, and get kind of legit closing thoughts. I just want to thank the LoL community for being who they are. I want to thank everyone who's been shown their support in any way, shape, or form. Anyone who's just enjoyed the videos or even tolerated them, because it really does mean a lot. It's like Beatdown being what it is has always felt like a fever dream. So when I actually kind of got the courage to get things together and try doing the videos, the reception has been more than I had ever expected, and I'm just honestly very glad to inspire people the way I've been inspired and to kind of put something out there that people enjoy. So I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.